So guys, welcome to the virtual lab workshop, and this is the eighth day of our workshop. And today I'm going to give you the demonstration on some of the experiments from electronics engineering and some of the experiments from our daily life. So just give me a second, I'll share my screen. I think the screen is visible to all of you. The screen is visible to all of you, guys?
Are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So welcome to the workshop. So as you all know that the virtual lab is a Ministry of Education initiative under which we are going to work on some of the engineering field experiments or the experiment from the engineering science field. So this is the way, this is the available platform which is provided the experimentation part from the engineering science, and this is completely free of cost. And in this virtual lab platform, we have 12 participating institutes who develop these kinds of the experiments. And also nowadays, students like you guys are also able to give the experiments to the virtual lab platform. So let's start for the today's session. So the main objective of the webinar is to help everyone to understand the working of the experiments in the virtual lab. So what we are going to do is we are just going to give you the demonstration on some of the experiment, and you are able to perform the experiments at your own from your place. So the today's agenda is the objective of the online labs. Then what are the silent features of the online lab? We will discuss these things. Then are going to discuss between the physical laboratories and the online laboratories, the benefits. And at the last, we are going to give you the demonstration of online experimentation. So for the demonstration of today's experiments, I'll give you the experimentation from Digital Electronics Lab of IIT Kharagpur, and then for digital application lab, which is developed by one of our nodal center, College of Engineering Pune. And in the last, we just talk with each other to, if you guys have any query, just ask. So what is the virtual lab? So virtual lab is a project which is initiated by Ministry of Education. At that time, Ministry of Human Resource and Development by in 2009, and from 2009 to 2012, we are going to develop the experiments on the available resources or some of the experiments. And from 2012 to 2015, we just demonstrate the experiments to the students, to the faculty members of different institutes. But at that time, we don't have any limitation for the using of the softwares. But now, right now, we have the limitation to use the softwares. So what we are going to do at that time, we use generally we use the lab view generally, and Flash players, Quest 3D players, some of the paid softwares we used at that time. And nowadays, what we have the problem is like if we want to use the any of the experiments of developed on some of any of the paid software, that has to be installed in the customer software also. So by taking the things in the mind, we are just converting each and every lab to our open source environment. So we are also migrating our existing labs to the open source environment, like open source environments like HTML, Java, CSS, and JavaScripts and other things available. So right now we are just migrating the experiments and develop the experiments in the open source environment so that you are able to perform the experiment with the help of your mobile phones also. So what you just need to perform the experiment, the mobile phone, the internet connection, the laptop, and the internet connection. So with the help of internet, you are able to perform each and every experiment available on the virtual lab platform. And also in this virtual lab platform, what our strategy is that, like, as you go to your physical laboratory, you have a physical In the physical laboratory, you have your lab manuals, like how to perform the experiment, what are the equipment required, what is the theory behind the experiment. So each and everything is also available in our virtual laboratory. So we linked our virtual laboratory website with the NPTEL. So in NPTEL we have our theory lectures from the different courses from different syllabus, and in the virtual lab we have a practical sessions of that those available theory sessions. So we link both the things with each other also. And for the self-evaluation part, what we have in this particular virtual lab platform, we have the quiz part also available for your self-evaluation. Like if you are going to perform any of the experiments, initially you have a pre-quiz, pre-test, basically. So in that pre-test, the basic info, basic questions from that particular experiment or the topic will available there, and you have to use the experiments, and it will give you the answer that how the result of your answers, that how many of the questions are correct or wrong. And after performing the complete experiment, we have another post test. In that post test, what you are going to do, again the same thing, you have to give the answers of some higher level questions on the basis of the experiment or the theory sessions. So what is the motivation behind our virtual labs? Like initially we limit the physical distance by doing the experiments. Like in this current cases, what we have in the COVID pandemic, we don't have even our physical laboratories available. But in the physical laboratory, if you want to perform the experiment, you have to go to your physical laboratory. What we do here in the virtual laboratory, we just create the replica of our physical laboratory experiment and provide you on the basis of with the on the internet, and with the help of your internet connection you are able to perform the experiment. So basically we limit the physical distances by doing the experiments from your home place or from your place. Then the sharing of the costly equipment, like any of the institute which is not able to establish any of the different lab, like the lab from mechanical engineering or from the civil engineering, which has some higher cost. Then with the help of this virtual lab platform, we are going to share the costly equipments, like we have the labs at IIT Roorkee, and you are able to perform the experiment from that lab also with the help of this virtual lab. Then the proliferation of quality labs. So basically the labs which are available here, the all are the quality labs, because the content available on the virtual lab platform is completely measured or completely maintained with the help of the experts of that field, or is the content is designed by the expert of those fields. Like IIT Roorkee is working with the electrical engineering department, and we have the electrical machines lab, other labs. So each and everything content available is under the monitoration of the IIT professors and NIT professors. So you are just uh, rely on the available data, and the complete data available is a completely quality labs. So the main objective of the virtual labs, like first to provide the remote access to the labs of various labs in various disciplines of engineering science and engineering students. And in this virtual laboratory, what our motto is that everyone must be on the same page. Like for the students from IIT Roorkee got, and the student from any of the private institute got the same content to read or to educate as the IT person use. So in the behind motto about the virtual laboratory is similar, that the content available to each and every person is similar. No, and it is also used to enable the students to learn at their own pace and velocity. Then in the last, like we have our thousands of universities in our country, and it is not possible to develop each and every lab for the private institutions at their own, because to develop a lab or to generate a lab or to establish a lab, we just require lakhs of money in terms of creating the labs. And after that, we need to maintain these labs and for maintenance also. So at by thinking that thing, we are able to give the access to the students of the virtual lab experiments, which is already a simulated versions. So everyone must be on the same page is our motto behind the virtual labs. So in our virtual lab content, what we have the e-content. Like I told you earlier that we have NPTEL and video lectures, NPTEL video lectures links with our websites, like video demonstration and documents are also available. Then the e-tutorials are also available on our virtual lab experiments, the content video and the animation and simulators. And for web resources, the Wikipedia development links and the case studies and everything is available on our virtual lab platform. And for the self-evaluation, you have MCQs and the problems and the quizzes also available for virtual lab experiments. Then this is the Sakshat portal. So I hope that you heard the Sakshat portal before. So the Sakshat portal is a portal which is a first website of our Ministry of Education. So every single idea or every single idea which is available on the field of education or the every any of the new innovation in the field of education or any of the course which is available on the platform is directly reflect on the virtual lab platform. So as this is the first page of our virtual lab of Sakshat portal, we just we just differentiate this thing with the three different parts, like for the school from nursery to 12th class, then for undergraduate, then postgraduate also. So you are just access each and every scheme which is run by the government on the in the field of education is reflect on the Sakshat portal. So better to give the access or elaborate your knowledge about the existing courses which is available in the field of education, just go to the Sakshat portal and elaborate. So on the Sakshat portal, the three main links are here, like the NPTEL for video and theory content, then the spoken tutorial for learning of any of the language from online courses for the languages, and these also are the free of course. Like if you just learn or if you just want to learn the CAD software, you are able to do that with the help of the software tutorials, the spoken tutorials link. And in the last, we have the virtual lab link also available on the Sakshat portal, or you can directly access that virtual lab portal with the help of our URL, that is vlab.co.in. So the silent features of the virtual labs are anytime, anywhere labs. Like if you just want to use the virtual laboratory, you can use that laboratory 24/7, and it is available with the help of the internet connection to your mobile phone and the laptop also. The common web interface. The common web interface means for engineering science field, everything is available on a single platform like blab.co.in. So if you want to perform the experiment from mechanical engineering, just go to the vlab.co.in. If you want to perform the experiment from chemical engineering, just go to the vlab.co.in. And if you want to perform the experiment from electronics engineering, just go to vlab.co.in. So everything is available on a single platform, that is vlab.co.in. Then the accessibility through the internet connection in PC, laptop, or mobile phone. So it is easy to work with the experiments on your mobile phone also, because each and everything is created with the help of the open source environment. So nothing is required at the user end to download or to install for working of these particular experiments. Now the user-friendly web front-end and back-end simulations, like in our virtual laboratory, we are going to give the input with the help of our keyboards and mouse, and on the basis of the input, the output is manipulated. And there is no coding part also involved in the working of the experiment. We just create the user friendly interface, and with the help of your keyboard and mouse, you are able to perform the experiment easily. And the content, as I previously told you, that the content is completely high quality content, because the content which is available on the virtual lab platform is completely maintained with the help of the professors of IITs or the expert of that field. Now, the differentiation between the physical laboratories and virtual laboratories. So in case of cost, the existence of the physical laboratory takes the few lakhs of rupees, while in case of the virtual laboratory, it is almost none, because everyone nowadays has internet connection and mobile phones, so you are able to use these experiments easily. And on the basis of the availability, for performing a physical experiment in the physical laboratory, you have limited time space, like for a particular lab you got 2 hours in a week, then only for the 2 hours you are able to use that laboratory. While in case of the virtual laboratory, the experiments are available 24/7, so you are able to use the experiments anytime, anywhere from your mobile phone from with the help of internet connection. And in case of the experimentation, the limited innovations are available. As in case of the physical laboratory, we have our equipments, and we have to perform the experiments with a very proper method to perform the experiments. If we are not going to use the proper method to perform the experiment, the hardware may damage and it will cost you. Or it may also harm you if you are working on the electrical engineering laboratory, and there may be a short circuit as you are not performing the experiment in the proper manner. So in case of the virtual laboratory, you have various ways of innovation. You can do the experiments with a proper procedure also, and you are also able to do the experiments with a non-proper way of performing the experiment. And in case of the physical laboratory, if the machine is damaged or the equipment is damaged, you have to replace that. Or in case of virtual laboratory, you just press the refresh button and everything will be same again. So in case of the user experience, the best way to perform the experiment is the physical laboratory. We are not going to replace our physical laboratory with the virtual lab. And in this pandemic case, the virtual laboratory is the second best option available uh, for performing the experiment or to elaborate the education. So these are the broad areas of the virtual labs. Like we work in the field of physical science, chemical science, mathematical, electrical, electronics, chemical, civil. Most of the things we cover in our virtual laboratory. But as you all know that we have thousands of universities and thousands of the syllabus in our country. So it is not possible for the participating institutes to cover each and every engineering field. So for that, we just introduce a new thing that if any of the nodal center persons want to to develop new experiments, they can do that also. And these are the participating institutes of the virtual lab. So basically, this is the backbone of our virtual lab project, and these 12 participating institutes working day and night to give you the best way to perform the experiment. And right now, we have more than 250 different laboratories available on the virtual lab platform, and more than 1200 experiments which are available in these different laboratories. And also, if you want to check the any of the university's devotion to the virtual laboratory, just go to that particular institute also and check that. So basically, these are the participating institutes. Then this is the peak of our simulating laboratory. So basically, this is the civil engineering lab, the surveying lab, and this is a simulator which we create to perform the experiment. And this is a user friendly, and you are able to perform the experiment easily with the help of the instructions available on the page. Then this is the simulation link page of our simulating electrical machine laboratory. In this experiment, what you are do, you just make the connections and check the connections are correct or not. And if the connections are correct, you just take your readings. So it is also able to perform the experiment with the help of a proper procedure, which is also available on this page. So this is the pic of our electrical machine lab experiment. And this is the national impact of the project. So in this virtual laboratory, right now we have more than 1300 nodal centers available. Like your institute is also a nodal center of our IIT Roorkee. So this is the map of our country, in which area we cover most of the institutes. And more than 2300 physical laboratories, physical workshops are run by the different participating institute and different institutes, our nodal centers. And this is the participating institute and uses of our virtual laboratory. We monitor these things regularly, and this is the lab statistics of our virtual laboratory. Like IIT Roorkee labs are most widely used right now in this pandemic. We are on the top basically. And from the most viewing experiments, from top 10 experiments, 9 experiments are from Electrical Engineering Department of IIT Roorkee. And these are the best experiments to which are used nowadays. So this is the statistics of IIT Roorkee. The complete usage of IIT Roorkee is available here. So now the main parts come how to perform the experiment. So to perform any of the virtual lab experiment, you have to go on the vlab.co.in, www.vlab.co.in. You just open any of the browser like Google Chrome for best experience, Opera, Mozilla Firefox. Just type www.vlab.co.in and you are able to access the laboratory also. And also we have our YouTube channel like VLab IITR. And if you guys have any query or any problem to to know how to perform the experiments in future, or you just want to check any of the different videos available on our YouTube channel, so just go to our YouTube channel and check these sessions also. And this is the workshop from your institute is also available at the YouTube channel. If you just want to check these things in the future, you can just go to the YouTube channel and you can do that also. So for our YouTube channel, please note down the VLab IITR is our YouTube channel. I'll share the link in the description at the last of this session, and you can access these things from there also. So just write www.vlab.co.in in any of the browser and go ahead. So who are our intended users? The college students like you guys, the high school students to check the working of the different experiments. Like if any of the high school student or the any of the students just check in which field what kind of the experiments are available, or just for your for any of person's curiosity can use that experiment. The researchers in the different institute and different engineering college are also our users. So this is all from the presentation side for virtual lab experimentation. Now I will give you the demonstration on our experiments. So just give me a second. I'll share my video. Sorry, I'll share my screen. Just give me a second. And if you guys have any query, you just ask. Any guys, if you have any query, anyone. Okay, so this is our main website, the vlab.co.in. Once you click on the vlab.co.in, this is the home page of our website. We divide this website into three different parts. The first one is the objective and the philosophy. You can check our objective from here. Then we have the broad areas of the virtual labs. So basically, this is the library of virtual lab. If you want to perform the experiment of any particular stream, just go there and check which kind of experiments are available on that particular field. Like I'll click on the civil engineering laboratory. So these are the different labs available, which is under the civil engineering. Just go there and check the experiments. Then we have the list of our participating institutes. So these are the list of our participating institutes, the 12 participating institutes. So from here, you just check the division of each and every institute in the virtual laboratory, or which institute work in which field. You can check here. Then in the last, we have the VLab Dev portal. So basically, this is the secondary portal of our virtual labs. And this portal is just maintained with the help of the students like you. Like if we create any of the new laboratory or any of the institute give the experiments to deploy on this particular website, we just initially place those experiments to our VLabs development portal. And from here, we are just quality analyze the things like the experiment. We just check the bugs in the experiments, like what we have to add, what we have to subtract in the experiment. Is the experiment is completely okay? So after checking the completely analysis, quality analysis of that particular experiment, we will move that experiments to our main website, that is vlab.co. So this is the complete website of our virtual laboratory. Now I'm going to give you the demonstration of the experiments. So I'll click on the electronics and communication engineering. Once I click on the electronics and communication engineering, each and every experiments are available on the field of electronics engineering is available here. You just click any of the experiment and perform the experiment. So for the first experiment, I click on the electrical basic electronics lab, which is developed by IIT Kharagpur. Then we have the list of experiments. In this particular laboratory, we have 17 different experiments available. So for the first experiments, I'll click on the familiarization with resistor. So this is the basic experiment available. Or I click on the Ohm's law. So I'll click on the Ohm's law experiment. So this is also a basic experiment which you already learned in 11th class, 12th class, and now in the first year also. So for the first time user, what we have, this is our website, and this is our lab manual of our OMSLU experiment. So like in your physical laboratory, you have your lab manuals. This is the lab manual of OMSLU. Initially, what we have the theory sessions. So this is the complete theory regarding the OMSLU. You just check that also. So anyone guys, any of the person available here, just give me the answer. What is Ohm's law? Any of you guys? What is Ohm's law, guys?
V is equals to IR.
Okay, V is equals to IR. Basically, this is the formula. What is the proof?
Current is directly proportional to the voltage.
Okay, and anyone? Current is directly proportional to the voltage. Okay. So under constant physical conditions. Okay. So the complete law is that. Now we have the procedure. So this is the complete procedure to perform the experiment. So in this particular experiment, we have 7 different ways to perform the experiment. I'll show you here. Like we have our simulator button. As I click on our simulator, we have 7 different ways to perform the Ohm's law experiment. So in the first one, the Ohm's law, what we have the existing circuit diagram available, and just go to that experiment and take the readings with the help of our instructions and perform the experiment. I'll show you here. So this is the Ohm's law. Then in the second, what we have our draw circuit experiment. Like in this second part, we have equipments or the components available at our screen. We have to connect the components with the help of our wire, and then we are able to perform the experiment. Then in the third part, if more than one resistance is available in the series, what is the effect on the Ohm's law or how Ohm's law behaves? We check that again. Then for the draw circuit, then for the parallel resistance, then again for the draw circuit of parallel resistance, and in the last, the non-ohmic devices. So just wait a second. So it takes some time. So we'll wait for 2 minutes. So this is the Ohm's law experiment. Here we have a available circuit. We have the available circuit here. In this, we have the power source, the voltage source, then the ammeter for the current measure, then the resistance, then the voltmeter available, and we have the controls also available in our right side, and in the left side we have our experimental table. So if you guys are from the first time users and you are not able to take the experiments reading properly, we have the instruction button available here. So just perform the experiment with the help of the instructions and you are able to do the experiment. Then in this particular experiment, what we have to do, we just take the readings and calculate our current on the basis of our voltage and resistance. So in this particular experiments, we have to initially fix our resistance to any of the particular value. I'll choose my resistance as 1 kilo ohms. And then we have our DC voltage. So I'll vary the DC voltage in on 1 kilo ohm resistor and calculate the value of current and make our graph. So for the first reading, I'll choose the value of DC voltage 1. So 1. So I'll click on the add to table button. For 1 volt, the current is 1 milliampere. It is available on our experimental table. So for making a proper graph, what we have to do, have to take more than 4 to 5 different values. So for proper graph. So for 5 volt, I'll check the value also. Again, the current is 5 milliampere. Then for 10 volt, the current is 10 milliampere. For 15, 20, and for the maximum. And click on the plot button. So once I click on the plot button, the graph will automatically create. And for my future references, I will take my printout of this particular page. So this is the experiment for Ohm's law. I repeat once again how to reach to the experiment. Just go to the vlab.co.in. From vlab.co.in, choose any of the experiments from the broad areas you want to perform and then click to the required laboratory. So this is the way to go to any of the particular laboratory and perform the experiment. So this is the first experiment which is available on the virtual lab platform. Now the second part of this experiment is Ohm's law draw circuit. So this is the second part. In this particular experiment, the complete experiment is similar to the previous one, but the difference is here that we have to make the connections on our own, and after making the connection, we have to check whether the connections are correct or not. If the connections are correct, these three buttons will enable, and if the connections are not correct, it shows me the message that the connections are not correct. Please check again. So I'll make the connection, guys. Give me the answer that is the connections are okay or not. So is this the connections are okay?
Sir. No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
So I click on the check button. It shows me that the connections are wrong. So I'll make the connections again. Is the connections are okay?
No, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. So I'll click on the check button. It shows that the right connections. I'll click on OK button and the buttons are enabled. Now again, everything is similar. Like I have to fix the value of resistance and take different 5 values of DC voltage and make the graph. So I'll click at random to and click on the plot. So this is the complete graph of my experiment. So this is the way to perform the experiment. So this is the first experiment from Ohm's law. I'll choose. So here is a quiz also available. I told you earlier that we have a quiz in our virtual laboratory. So this is the quiz available. If you want to answer the questions, I'll just give me the answer. Resistance, seventh one. Resistance and current are. What is the answer? Inversely proportional.
A option.
Inversely proportional. A. Okay. Now this fourth one. If the voltage across a fixed value of resistance is increased 5 times, what does the current do?
It increases by a factor of 5.
Okay, it increased by the factor of 5. Okay. Any other person? Any other answer?
Increases by 5. Increases by a factor of 5.
It increases by
Okay, the D option is correct. Okay, I'll choose the D option. Then for the third, if doubling the voltage across a resistor doubles the current through the resistor, then what will be the answer?
The value did not change.
The resistor value did not change. Any other? B is the answer right
The
now.
value did not change.
Okay. The second one. Solve the question, guys. Anyone? Are you trying to solve this problem? Any answer, guys?
We are trying, so we are trying.
Okay, okay.
Option A.
Option A, sir.
Option A.
Option A,
Okay.
sir.
So first one, what is the value of the resistor in ohm?
D.
A?
D.
2.7 kilovolts.
2.7 kilo ohm. Option
D.
T, sir.
Okay. So this is the next one. Fifth, what is the power in the given circuit? And sixth also. Fifth and sixth.
D.
D.
B.
35.
Okay, D. In the sixth,
Milliamperes.
First one.
okay. Then submit. So sixth is not correct. Rest of the answers are correct. Okay. What is the correct answer for sixth?
60, right?
60 million.
60. So now it's okay. So this is the way to perform the experiment, and these are some basic questions on the basis of Ohm's law. Then we have some assignment here, so you can do the assignment also and submit to your teachers. And we have the reference in the last, and also the NPTEL note for Ohm's law, the links for the video lectures. So this is the first experiment on Ohm's law. Now let's check another experiment. Just give me a second. The half wave rectification. So this is the second experiment we choose, the half wave rectification. I hope that you just go through the half wave rectification from your syllabus. So if you just want to try, just want to recap your knowledge, just we have a theory section again. So this is the complete theory. So this is the input wave for our half wave rectifier, the sine wave, and the half wave rectifier will just cut the negative half of our pulse, or it shows as the DC part here. The second, negative pulse. Only the higher peaks are available in the half wave rectification, while in case of the full wave rectification, the peak is on the upside in the output. So instead of the straight line, it will again show the same replica here also. So this is the half wave rectification. And we have the experiment available here. Just a second. This is the half wave rectifier experiment. So again, we have instruction tab available over here. So this is our oscilloscope output. This is the basic screen of our oscilloscope, and these are the controls available, and there is the calculation. So what we have to do in this particular experiment, initially we have to set our load resistance to any of the particular value. Then the second step, just click on the on button. Once I click on the on button, my input is available, and this is the oscilloscope. So we have two channels in our oscilloscope. One is for input and another is for output. And you can also use the dual channel also. So for, I'll show you the controls here. So this is basically the frequency of our this is to control the frequency of our input signal. And this is the amplitude. So you just change the, with the help of this, you are able to change the amplitude. And these are the control for our Y position. This is the control for our divisions. If you want to change the value of divisions, you are able to do that from here. And these are the positions for X. This is the control for our X position. You are able to change the values of our division also from here. Okay. And in case of the second channel, this is the output. And you are able to change the values from control our output, second channel output from this type. And then if you want to check for the dual, here is the output. So this is the output of our half wave rectifier, and this is the peak current. You can calculate here from with the help of this calculator also. So this is the half wave rectification experiment. So I'll show you this experiment again, and the second one experiment, and you are able to perform any of the experiment with the help of the instructions available. Just go to the instructions and perform the experiment easily. So I hope that you guys got some idea to perform the experiment, and you are able to perform the different experiments from the virtual laboratory. I hope that you got the idea properly. Now I'll show you the experiment from another laboratory. Just give me a second, I'll check. Meanwhile, if you guys have any query, you just please ask. Any guys, if you have any query. Okay, so I'll choose this digital application laboratory. So this is the digital application laboratory. In this laboratory, what we have the experiments from our daily life. Like in this 14 experiments, what we have the washing machine control using basic and node gate. Then some of the basic experiment, the car wiper controller, water level controller, seat belt controller. So everything from the basic we have. So before performing this experiment, I'll show you the experiment on gates. So you can better understand the value of the application of digital application laboratory. So this is the digital electronics laboratory available, the list of experiments. So these are the 12 different experiments. So first we have the experiment verification and interpretation of truth table. The method of performing the experiment is similar as the previous one. The complete way to perform the experiment I already show. So this is the completely theory available in this particular experiment. So for NAND gate, this is our symbol. This is the truth table of AND gate. This is the NAND gate through RTL logic. So these are each and everything is available here. You just check. Then we have the pre-test. So this is the pre-test. You can check that also. Then we have the procedure. So this is the complete procedure. So in this particular experiment, what we do, we just create the two different simulators, the simulator 1 and the simulator 2. Now, in the first simulator, this is the exact replica of your physical laboratory as you perform the experiment in your laboratory on the kit. The similar kit is available here. And in the second part, the simulator second, we just create the simulator for our revision, for the recap. I'll show you here. I click on the simulator part and AND gate. This is the first simulator. This is the second simulator. In this second simulator, what you have to do, you have to provide the input as well as the output. And on the basis of your input and output combination, it gives you the answer that the combination is correct or not. Like for the values of 1 and 1, what will be the output?
1.
I'll write here 0 and click on the check. So it shows that the answer is incorrect. So this is for our recap of our truth table. So for the 1 and 1, the output is 1. For 1 and 0, the output is 0. For 0 and 0, for 0 and 1. So this is the complete truth table of our AND gate. Now the second simulator. So this is the second simulator, which is exactly replica of our physical laboratory. And also you have the instruction tab available. You just check the instruction. So in the first step, what you have to do, you have to click on the battery button so that the battery will connect to the circuit, and click on the power button. So it shows you the flowing of the charge from the wires. And we have the values, two switches for input of the values, then the NPN transistor, and for the output, we have our LED. So we have to observe the LED here to check our output. So for the value of 1 and 1, the output is 1. For the value of 0 and 1, the output is 0. For the value of 0 and 1, sorry, 1 and 0, the output is 0. And for value of 0 and 0, the output is 0. For 1 and 1, the output is 1. So this is the way how AND gate works. Now I'll show you the laboratory of digital application lab. Just give me a second. We just relate the things with this laboratory. List of experiment, and then the sixth experiment, basics of AND gate and its application in car wiper control. So this is the theory part. So this is the complete theory again. We just move to the simulator. So this is the experiment. You are able to perform the experiment in the two way again here. In the first part, what we have two buttons available, the ignition and the wiper. If I just own the wiper button in my car without owning the ignition button, the car wiper will not. As this is the physical example. If I just switch off the car wiper and switch on the ignition, the car wiper will again not work. If I switch on the ignition button and switch on the car wiper will start. So this is the application of my AND gate. So if both the conditions are true, the output will true, as the output is false. Now in the second way, you have the components available. With the help of these components, just design the circuit and check. Like for the AND gate, I'll choose AND gate, and any of the input I'll take and place here and design any of the circuit. So you are able to perform this experiment on the available basis as it is available. And also if you want to just create your own circuit, you are able to do that also. So this is the experiment of the car wiper control, and also there is another experiment, first experiment, washing machine control. You can also check this experiment. This is again
ನಾಳೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಸೋಣ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿನಾ
any problem, guys? If you have any query, just please ask. If you guys have any query, just please ask. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's done, sir.
Yeah, done, ma'am. Done.
Okay,
So guys, if
okay,
you
ma'am.
just give me a minute, ma'am. If you guys just wants to recheck this session or just wants to check another experiment demonstration, just go to our YouTube channel and uh, check from there also. So our link of our YouTube channel is VLab IITR. I'll place here. Just give me a second. So okay, this is all from our presentation side, and over to you, ma'am. I hope the students get the basic idea how to
Yeah,
perform
I'm
the
putting.
experiments with the help of our virtual lab. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, please check chat box. Just yeah. Have you got the form link?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Please fill this form. This will get your certificate on your mail. So ID. Either turn on 1 minute your camera, so. Chetan, sir. Okay, sir. So please fill this form, and it's active for 30 minutes, and certificate you will get directly on your mail ID. You have to put the copy of the certificate in your reflection. No. Please fill this form. Okay, Chetan sir, thank you. Thank you so much for giving this lecture to us. Tomorrow, once again, we'll meet. 2 more days we have. So, 31st Monday and tomorrow Friday. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Hello, I'm audible, sir. Hello. Hello, Chetan sir. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shall we end the meeting?
Yeah, done, ma'am. And I'll post the link of our virtual labs YouTube channel. So guys, please like, share, and subscribe for our YouTube channel and get
Yeah.
more
You
videos.
YouTube channel link is there. So please just check this YouTube channel and like it and subscribe also. Okay. So thank you, Chetan sir. Thank you, students. Bye. Please fill the form.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, guys.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir. Thank you. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.